This is a demonstration of assembling an XYZ axis from 3 Saber linear slides. I'm just going to leave the clock running so you can see approximately how long it takes to assemble it, and I'll record a couple of steps along the way. So we've got the 3 linear slides and a joystick for controlling them, although they all have individual controllers as well, so the joystick is optional. I start by bolting the main axis onto the base plate. The base plate obviously would be a separate purchase. So that's bolted onto the base plate. Then we split. So that would be the x-axis. This will be the y-axis. Getting the holes lined up with the bolts. There we go. Now I'm going to apply some power to get the sled in. Alright, so I've got my X and my Y axis here. And they're bolted together. Now I'm going to bring in my Z axis. So I pulled this. I applied power and pulled this out of the way so I can get access to the 2 holes in the bottom. Just attach that to the top, stick a couple of screws in there. The right way up. Hey, there you go. Be careful to hang on to it so it doesn't tip over while you're trying to screw it in. So it's nicely attached, they're all nicely attached. Now I connect to the previous device. There we go. Now I can use the manual controls to move them in all 3 axes. Okay, so now I've got my serial port with an extension here. I'm going to connect the joystick, first of all, to the joystick. So that'll be device 1. Then I'm going to attach to the x-axis. So that'll be device 2. Then device 3 and device 4. Now I pull up my Saber console over here, open the COM port, select all devices and send the renumber command. Alright, I've now mounted the 3 slides together in the XYZ configuration. I've attached the joystick and they're all connected, daisy-chained to the serial port, and I've started up my Saber console program. So I open up the COM port, and that queries to see what devices are attached. They'll come from the factory all set at the default device ID 1, device number 1, and so the first thing I would do is send the renumber command that will assign this to be device 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now that I've renumbered them, I should be able to move the x-axis by pushing the joystick to the left and the right, move the y-axis by pushing it up and down, and the z-axis by turning it. Now when you first power them on, you actually have to bring them all the way back to their home sensor so that they know where they are. And then they can travel over their whole travel range. Now you notice that the y-axis here, because of the way I've mounted it, when I push the joystick, it travels in the opposite direction. So what I'll do is select the joystick, go to the settings, select the y-axis, and invert it. And now it goes in the right direction. So now I've got an XYZ that's being controlled by this. I can also send commands through the console. So if I say move 10,000, there it goes. If I want to do the Z-axis. Alright, so now I've added a few extra pieces just as a demonstration. Essentially an arm coming down attached to the Z-axis and a little toy car for it to move back and forth. So what I can do is I can move it into the position using the manual controller, the joystick. And then go to the Zebra console, query its position. Write down that position, move it, record that position, and then write a script that will send the commands to move to the different positions. So now I've recorded all the positions along the path and just put them into a script with a loop around them. So when I run the script, it should just move the little car back and forth. It starts by homing the devices, so it knows where it's starting from and then goes into its loop.